which does not put us at risk and which exercises our power, you know, in a way in which we can be able to fight, because that's the only option that we have right now. We don't have the constitution anymore. We don't have the judiciary anymore. We don't have parliament anymore. We don't have anything. These people can do whatever the hell they want. So Kenyans, let me just tell you without any fear of contradiction, this is not going to be an easy war, and you have to be very strategic. We have to be very strategic. Kama it's recalling those MPs, we'll have to recall them. Those are the kind of things that we are going to be doing from now on, because how else are we going to deal with this guy? You have seen him. If he can do this to his own deputy president, what about a Mwananchi Raia over here? What consideration does he have for him? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Malia. I like it that you agree that civil disobedience is the only way to have justice now that the justice system has failed. We have also been given several good ideas about civil disobedience. Wallace has been campaigning for another idea I'm seeing is on the speaker panel. He will be able to tell us more about it. He has a very good idea that we can implement as soon as today. And I know Wallace is going to talk about that when I give him the mic. But Maggie, before I come to you, allow me to give Calvin the mic. I saw he was trying to wave. He has something burning in him.
Okay,
let me give him the mic.
Thank you very much, Bwana Chair. What I can say is this: Article 1 of the Constitution is very clear that power belongs to wananchi, and that power can be exercised directly or indirectly. We have already have members of parliament. Those people are representing us indirectly. But if in any case there is a failure, people can act directly because that power is on our hands. So what can I say is this? What I can say is this. In order to help this our country, you must pocket yourself. You must find the way on how this country can be helped, because there are so many people who are really suffering because of these members of parliament. There are some policies which, if they implement in the parliament, can help ordinary Mwananchi. Today we have the three arms of government: executive, legislature, and judiciary. And when we look at these three arms of government, it's really confusing us sometimes, because we don't know who is who. And according to me, when I look at the judiciary, I see that the judiciary should be given a mandate of judging everything, finalize everything. But whatever we see, sometimes that if judiciary magistrates do this, there is a threat from the executive. Like that person of was the head of the police officer, who was to be arrested, and then yet the executive did whatever they did. What I'm telling you is this, my friends. There is no need of wasting time of expresses if we don't act, because storytelling sometimes is not helping people. I like what we call action. Action, sometimes when you put action, things can go well. Action. If you put actions, things can go well. But if we allow these people to continue like this, our judiciary
Did we lose him? Can anyone hear him? John, can you hear him? Oh, okay. Calvin, seems like we lost you. Maybe if you come back, we'll still give you an opportunity to speak. Yeah. But John, you've heard what Malia was saying, and that's exactly what we were also trying to talk about. I mean, the way to go is to ensure that the masses, first of all, before we even talk about a lot of things, people need to be enlightened, and that's why sometimes we host the spaces and things like that. The masses need to be enlightened, but right now we also need to look at immediate actions that we can take.
Nyinyi penye munatembea, hii ushuru ambayo inapigwa, hata bibi yako itachokolewa. Maana hii ushuru ambayo naona hapa ni ushuru ambayo haiwezi nisaidia. Hii ni ushuru chungu sana, ushuru chungu zaidi. Sasa kama kila kitu inafanyika na serikali ya Ruto anaangalia, anasema kila kitu iko sawa na wewe unasafa. Sisi tunasafa. Sisi tunaangalia na juu. Wengine wanakula chakula, wengine wanaangalia kwa hewa. Nikimalizia ni hii. Nikimalizia na kinukuu.
Seems like he's gone again.
Unanisikiza? Mnapress viongozi zaidi. Mnasema ate fulani anatoka kwetu. Huyo ni mtu wangu. Haifai tunafanya vitu kama hivyo. Na waomba tafadhali, please. Let us stop these people. This issue of impunity must be stopped. We are very tired of impunity in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Calvin. We are actually very tired of impunity in our country, and that is why we need to find the best solutions and the best alternative to the current justice system. We have to demand better justice for ourselves as a people, and we have to action to show that we are disgruntled as a people. We have to show, because we have not shown this yet. If we have a right to education, we have a right to high standards of attainable healthcare, and we still have to go to court to defend these rights, we are far away from being a democratic republic of Kenya. And therefore, we need to action. We need to look for action, immediate action that can ensure that, and like I said previously, before the space went down, these rights that we have are not granted to us by the state. Nobody's giving us these rights. They're already there for us. So nobody's supposed to grant us right to healthcare, high standards of healthcare. We have supposed to get, that is by default. Nobody's supposed to grant us right to education. We're supposed, Calvin, mute your mic, please kindly. Nobody's supposed to grant those rights to Kenyans. Those rights are there for Kenyans to enjoy. Yeah, so as let me bring in Wallace, then Maggie, we can continue the discussion. Wallace is someone who has been championing for a few things in terms of civil disobedience. Wallace, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I believe you can hear me.
100% Wallace, continue.
Awesome. Now, I like coming onto spaces, and you know me, I like being solutions oriented. And we need to agree, and we have agreed, of course, I think I heard Malia speaking, that we have a very big problem on our hands as the people of Kenya, because we have a rogue government, we have rogue systems, we have police that murder us, DCI that murder us and abduct us. We're just not living where our constitution is. If you compare our constitution with our reality, the disparity is just laughable. Because if we were living our constitution, I don't think even a single Kenyan would be protesting about anything. It was bloated, and we needed to fix a few things in it, but we would be fine. So now what we say is this: when you have an elephant in the room, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer usually is one bite at a time. You can't do everything in one huge move. Now, what happens is when you come up with solutions, most people, especially the most aggressive ones, and it's allowed, everybody has a different temperament and everybody has a different energy. You find that people do not know that peaceful and moral protests are extremely powerful. We've gone into history and we have shown people who did not resort, including why do we call Nelson Mandela very great? He could have mobilized his people into violent action, but he never chose action as the way to free South Africa. Mahatma Gandhi never used violence. They were over the Indians to the British population in India was in the hundreds of millions versus less than 1 million Wazungus. I think even less than 300,000. But still, Mahatma Gandhi chose what was called satyagraha, if you remember your history. Peaceful protest that is powerful, and it's based on having more moral authority than your enemy, okay? Than your enemy who is in power. The British had the guns. The British had the collaborators. Likewise, even in our country, we know there are always collaborators. Those people who, when you're trying to plan your stuff, they sell you out to the government. They're given a few. There are those who sell out your plans, and there are those who are sold into your protests to actually do you harm or to do things that frame you. So what you realize is people do not appreciate the power of being able to, yes, there are times for hard maandamano, but that will only work when you have numbers coming out, those numbers that Malia has said. We have numbers, yes. We are the majority, yes. But as long as those numbers are not united, they are not in unison, they are not in common vision, and they do not move at the same time, those numbers are not helping us. Because the only power you have, let's say, when you concentrate light, you get something called a laser beam. That is what is dangerous. That is what is powerful. Unlike the light that is just spread out, which is regular light, okay? So the idea here is the first thing we need to do is let us work on uniting Kenyans. On what basis? Patriotism. Every Kenyan, with all our issues, all our challenges, even the times we have been most tribal, okay? Anytime you would see Kenyans go to the Olympics and you see Rudisha winning, or you would see our Rugby Sevens team winning, Kenyans would forget their differences. At that one point, we would all be one people. When Obama won, all Kenyans were one people. We were so excited. We were all adding O's to our names. I'm Okamau, I'm Omaina, saying Obama is our person. When they won, so the idea is this: what brings Kenyans most powerfully together, and it ought to be the case, is patriotism. We have forgotten how to be patriotic because we just need a few to special events. Olympics are not every other day. Not every other day a Kenyan achieves something great that can rally us together. Yet these people are meeting in Bunge every day. They're having their scheming plans every day. So they are fewer, but they are outmaneuvering us because we do not have unity. We do not have consistent unity. We are not focusing on one thing at a time. One person is doing this thing, the other one does that thing, because Kenyans also like doing their own thing, especially if it could have some money in it or future political position in it. Kenyans, we know ourselves. We know ourselves, okay? That's why when you try and push for patriotism, that first calls for people to volunteer, to do something for the country for nothing. You don't sense any much passion there, okay? But that's why we are saying this. It's time we say we begin. Patriotism, we know we have it. We know Kenyans have patriotism. Look at the time we had the famine in Northeastern, the Kenyans for Kenyans initiative. How much money did Kenyans raise within like 48 hours? Kenyans are very compassionate. There are times even it might be a Rikomondi highlighting a case. This person doesn't have, how much money do Kenyans raise? So we know the heart is there. The love is there. It's that we are letting ourselves to be distracted once in a while, as we say. One time it's the impeachment. Do we care about the impeachment? Okay, we know that, of course, this guy is showing he's ruthless, whatever. But remember, it's now the wicked beating up on the wicked. While we people who are crying, it's like, I don't know if we're drawing some solace from seeing Gachagua being beaten up, but it doesn't help us. We need to remain focused on we the people. So what we are saying is this: we know as we the people, whom in that constitution, Joe, you are very good with, conversant with it, who are the sovereign. We know we are being disobeyed on a day by day. In fact, that impeachment, we said, sisi tulisema kufa dereva kufa makanga. We said they should both go. That's what we were saying. We said you can't impeach one. We know it's not in the constitution that you do that. So these three arms, the executive is disobeying we the people. The legislature, you see it approving something we the people have refused. They go pass a finance bill. The judiciary, there we go yesterday. They know we don't want one to go, they both go. But they pretend like, no, we can pass this. So we, the people, that constitution of Kenya is good, but because it said we delegated authority, we can see already they've been disobeying the authority of we, the sovereign people of Kenya. So number one, let us unite we, the sovereign people of Kenya, as the priority. Because then, even as we sing our anthem, we are going to be telling the world, we have a constitution, we, the people, are abiding by it, we are the sovereign, but the ones we are delegated to are continually and openly disobeying us. And so we are revoking their powers, even if they have, because they have the guns, we have not kicked them out, we will not use violent protest, but we are also rejecting any deals you get into with them, as per constitution, we shall consider them odious debt. We will not count them. We do not accept any deal that they have ever done that they did not use public participation to consult us and get us our approval as the sovereign. And then we can even start shaming countries that participate in their corruption like China, but that's even going far. Let me start with the anthem. The anthem's goal is that unison of patriotism. The anthem does not belong to any tribe, so that it should stir tribalism. That's not our anthem. That is their anthem. It belongs to all of us. The anthem is a unifying thing. It's a patriotism challenge because Kenyans, for too long, we have gotten used to waiting for somebody else to do for us. That's why we got into this mess. This personality cult foolishness that was driven by tribalism. Mtu wetu amesema, mtu wetu amesoma. That's why Kenyans didn't read the constitution. We didn't know we were to be consulted from the first day. From the moment that new system came in of county governors, MCAs, and whatever, we were to be consulted over every single decision via public participation. So, but because we are used to the old system of our man will defend us, but we found out now they've been looting us even before the new constitution. That's why they are trying to kill it right now. But anyway, this is the point. If anybody asks, the reason we are doing the anthem is patriotism first. Unison, kidole kimoja kiui chawa. First, let's get the unison. Because at that point of level where all Kenyans are singing the same song, the same anthem, and speaking the same thing, we are saying we are the people. Okay, hashtag we the people. This is a patriotism challenge. It's now about what can you do for your country? What does it cost you to sing your anthem? Because now I'm not telling you to come out. We know we go on the streets. Some are ready to go on the streets, Akina Malia and the gentleman who was here before. But we know right now their answer is kill them, shoot them, abduct them so that you strike fear in others. And because there are people who are peace-loving citizens who are ready to protest, but maybe they have children, they can't afford to come out. Or they are fearful. Never expect everybody to be the same. That's being ridiculous. That's why not everybody joins the army, or not everybody becomes a doctor. When you're going for, if you are going to be a doctor, you have to have a high tolerance for blood and gore. So I hear one of the first things they do is you are taken to a morgue, when you are trying to do med. If you faint, you're not going to be a doctor. So anyway, my point here is don't demand that everybody, because you want to go on the street, must come with you. Not everybody has your guts yet. We need you. There's your time. But let your time come when we as in unison are behind you. We'll already have developed that unison. So that if we say you're going to go and occupy a place, we are all behind you. That money we were able to raise for Kenyans for Kenya, we can raise to make sure you are staying in the street even for a month, if that's what we want you to do. But for now, patriotism is the thing to build. Unison is the thing to build. Hashtags and putting our voice together. And the reason we say the anthem is because now we can sing it in Kenya, all over Kenya, and all over the world with our fellow Wazalendo. And at the same time, open it out even to other people who want to stand with us so they can stand and sing and stand with Kenyans. There are Nigerians who are interested in singing with us. There are people who have been inspired by the Gen Z movement. We make this a global voice level initiative. The world knows that the people of Kenya who are law abiding and who know their constitution have been disobeyed by the 3 branches that they delegated authority to. And they have revoked that power, but they have not resorted to gun violence. They have not gone to bullets. They know they do not have an IEBC. Even if they know even the IEBC, their means to revoke these people, the government is sitting on it. They are sitting on the power that we use to remove them. It will be a big shame to this country. It will be a big shame to Ruto. Let's also, shame is one of the things we will use. But we need to do it in unison. When we speak it, the world hears it. They know we, the people of Kenya, have spoken in one voice. We are not stupid. We are not going to ask where is Aoko. We know who has Aoko. Stop asking where. What do you mean where? We know who. It is this rogue government, legislature, judiciary, and its armed forces. The police, definitely, the DCI. We cannot put anything on the army just yet. The army, when they came out, they were very peaceful with Kenyans. Because then they know I only shoot an enemy that is brandishing a gun, not a young boy or a young person with a flag and a whistle and a bottle of water. So what we need, priority number 1, unity of the people of Kenya. We, the people of Kenya, singing our national anthem, our patriotic song. Same time every Friday, 2 p.m., noon in London, 7 a.m. in New York. And then declaring our hashtags. I'll put some of them in the comments. Because these are patriotism. We are calling people to patriotism. This thing of waiting for somebody to, that's why even people are started ruining Morara, because that regular mentality. Oh, we've identified Morara. And I'm not saying anything against him, by the way, please. I'm talking about the bad mentality we have. Let's send him money, he will do everything. That's laziness, Kenyans. Kenya will change because we all move together. Kidole kimoja. Why are you expecting Morara to, what do you think he can do to Ruto? Shame on us for being that lazy. For being that uninvolved. You think your money is all, we don't need money only, we need our hearts in these people. Because this is a challenge to our morality, our character, our integrity. Shall we accept this devil government to persist? Well, all we are doing is complaining in spaces and everybody is asking, what do we do next? Well, no, let's unite fast. Let's raise this volume to, we know we are people who, when we hit Twitter with the real power, it trends worldwide. So every Friday, after we sing the anthem, people will hit their social media with the same message, with the same hashtags. It will always spike. Kenyans can do that. We know we've done it. People fear bullying Kenyans. Kenyans are dangerous on X, the online defense force. Now we are turning it on a few people. These are thousands of people. Never forget that. The reason we are singing also and taking video is so that Kenyans can always be reminded, we are the majority. It will build our confidence. It will build our courage because we'll always see we are the majority. Stop focusing on a TV screen where they gather a few thousand people in Bomas. They have paid them. Each one of those people is there because they are paid. That is a fake crowd. That is fake support. When we sing for free, we are the real deal. We are the real people. We are the real public participation. Not what they pay for, not what they buy. That's fake. So when we sing everywhere, and other people in other countries sing with us, and we start trending our hashtags, and we make it clear to the world, we, the people of Kenya, with our constitution, we have been disobeyed by these 3 arms. And we are declaring to the world, we do not recognize them. We have fired them. They are there by virtue of fact now, not by virtue of honor. We do not, in fact, we'll stop calling them Waheshimiwa. We'll stop using those titles. They are not that. What are you calling? He's what? Excellency for what? Murder. Kidnapping. We are not giving them any, we will revoke all those titles. We'll be calling him Ruto. And Gachagua, whatever name, they are not respectable. To be respectable, you have to act in a dignified manner and a manner that respects this constitution. Those titles are in the constitution because you are following it. When you stop following the constitution, we do not recognize those titles. So we will let the world know that the people of Kenya, we the people have sung together, we are singing together, we are standing together, and we are rejecting all international deals these people have signed before that were not followed in process. And you know, of course, the West can't blast us as the people, because even them, they pretend to be holier than thou. You can't pull these corrupt deals in the West. In China, you are executed for corruption. That's how we'll shame China. We'll say, shame on you, you execute corrupt people in your country. You execute corrupt people. But in Kenya, you come and you give us fake SGRs, you give us your junk trains. I don't know where they got those were like mkokoteni. When these guys were doing campaigns, they had bullet trains on the poster, bullet train like the ones in Japan. But delivery is it's like a kiosk on rails. That's what we are given as SGR at that price. Shame on China. And we'll tell them, we the people, we will take you to ICC. We will take you to whichever court there is. You explain how this money was spent, because it's written, it was sent to them. If the money went to them, they are scammers. To be very honest, if you go to a shop right now and somebody tells you, I'm selling you a Samsung Galaxy, and when you get home, in the box, there's a Nokia, that person is going to court and that person is going to jail. They have not delivered what you paid for. You must show what you have charged somebody is what is worth. So anyway, let me stick to that is why I'm saying, let's begin with patriotism. Do not look at this as a small thing. You see, when you call people to regular protests, understand, not everybody is ready to die yet. So they can't all come out for protest just yet, but everybody can sing the anthem wherever they are, and definitely on the streets. We make it a habit. Until we know this government is gone, every Friday we are going to sing. I'll put some of the hashtags in the comment section, and they are going to be, of course, on my timeline. If we are following each other, let's make sure we follow each other. But this is how we bring the unity together that is going to finish these people. We will raise this protest beyond their reach. They can try, and these things they are going to court and whatever is in Kinimacho. They are playing for us episodes of soap operas, so that, because they know Kenyans are easily distracted. For many years, Akina Real Joe know, the way to get Kenyans from thinking one scandal to the next was you keep shifting things. One time you're talking about Mahindi na Mafuta, then the next time it's Anglo-leasing, then the next, that's how Kenyans are distracted. They've read our book, they've written our script. If you want Kenyans not to be focused, keep giving them scandals. So before you go to your protest, kidnap Morara. Oh, where is Morara? There's no problem. Let's look for him, but you've distracted them. Or let's impeach Gachagua. They pass all those finance things while us guys are looking at the courts. We are all staying up late to watch. I wonder if, for goodness sake, are you serious? Do you care if Gachagua is impeached or not? Is that really a concern to you? We wanted them both gone. We know they are playing this thing, these three arms. They are against the people because, again, remember, they also are puppets. These guys who want to come and add bases in Kenya. If we shame them...
Unless I give you a minute to learn.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
I give you a minute to learn.
Sir, thank you. So let me be clear. Every Friday, 2 p.m. Kenya time, okay, we sing our anthem. You record yourself. You put it on your social media, X, Facebook, Twitter. We'll go to all social media spaces. Okay. Today is very rough draft because we started this yesterday, but we'll make sure every Friday, consecutive Friday, things get better and more powerful. But I'll share with you the hashtags. Let's follow each other. Come to my timeline. There's some images there. But we are saying we are Kenyans who are tired. We are for transformation. We are Kenyans for change. We have just decided it's now we, the people, that are stepping up and putting this thing down in unison. And that unison is going to be built beginning with the anthem and singing this anthem together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Wallace. A lot of things you've said. And I wish to hear also from a few people. Ajuoga, you are here before the space dropped. Before I bring you in, Ajuoga, there are a lot of ideas that we want to now give, because here let's talk about how we want to get justice in our own way, method. And a lot of speakers have talked about civil disobedience. We are already, and I want to encourage you to continue boycotting Safaricom. Boycott Safaricom at all cost. Don't use Safaricom. I am asking you, beseeching you, boycott Safaricom. That is one way which we are exercising our civil disobedience. We need to have more than one ways of exercising civil disobedience. Some people have been suggesting that we go into vigils and silent marches. Some Wallace has been advocating for a very good idea whereby every Friday at 2 p.m., wherever you are in a matatu, people can just decide to stand up and sing the national anthem for a while and chant and record on social media everywhere, countrywide, wherever you are in the diaspora. Every day at every Friday at 2 p.m. we can do that. Wallace, I think Friday 2 p.m. is one day only. If we can make it even twice or three times a week, every day at 2 p.m. and we chant, because it is chanting and singing countrywide, and we bring everything to a standstill every 2 p.m. This can be, I don't know, I'm just suggesting, Wallace, just to spice up your idea, because we need to show that we are disgruntled as a people. We need to show that. So Maggie, allow me to bring in Maggie. Maggie is my co-host here. John is also my co-host when Njiru. But allow me, Maggie, to bring in Ajuoga. Ajuoga was here before the space dropped. I've heard how Ajuoga speaks. He's a medic, and he will tell you about how Kenyans are dying firsthand in hospitals because of this sham called shift. Ajuoga, welcome to the mic.
Thanks so much, Joe. I really appreciate. I think there was an issue sometimes back, but it's good you brought it back on. I want to appreciate fellow Kenyans who have made it possible to endure the difficulties meted by this rogue system currently amongst us, like Wallace and most of us who have been consistent with the real issues that are facing common Kenyans at the household level. Just going straight to the point is that as I was saying, I think, Joe, you were in the space yesterday when you were ranting, and I said one thing. There is a very deliberate scheme by Ruto to ensure that he literally manages the whole system, the whole sector of this country. And it is something that is done in a more silent and stealthy manner that most Kenyans, wherever you are, you might not even notice. You know, right now, the person who is the deputy president is actually someone he can easily control, but is coming from a community that has no power of mobilization. He could have picked from a Luo, from a Kikuyu, or from Kalenjin, but those communities are having majority in them, and he cannot pick them. So he pick a weak person, and he pick from a community that he can easily manage. That just how Moi managed this country with a lot of atrocities between 1988 and 2002, when Saitoti was picked as the vice president, because he was coming from a minority community. You've also seen the issue of Adani encroaching all systems of basic systems that offer basic, fundamental or priority, needs for Kenyans getting in. Because remember, when something is basic, it means people will go for it. So it has a lot of money. And you've seen healthcare has been taken on board. I don't know how someone will be contributing 4,000 and getting a service of less than 1,000 in a year. I can't know that. I don't know how it happens. I don't know which earth that exists. You've seen airport, which brings almost billion every year. Hiyo pia ni Adani. Mambo ya ICT infrastructure is on the way. Our railway system is on the verge. So there are so many things going on that after 5 years, we'll have no country. And I'm very happy that this topic is here. What should we do? Ruthlessness is attacked by ruthlessness. Animosity is attacked by animosity. I was telling fellow Kenyans yesterday in a space that Ruto haelewi kizungu mingi. Hizi kizungu sisi tunasema hapa, yeye haelewi kabisa. Yeye ni mtu ambaye anakaa chini. And by the way, the NIS who comes into these spaces, we are not fighting Ruto as an individual. We are fighting a personality and a character encroached within our system and is being carried by a body. And that body is called Ruto. We are not fighting Ruto as a person. We are fighting a character and a personality in Ruto. It needs to be known so that people don't come out and say, no, you are sponsored those nonsense. No, it's not making sense. We are fighting characters that have encroached our system and are actually colonizing and enslaving Kenyans. I'm a medic. I've been in clinical practice for the last 10 years. This is the first year I have faced serious pain seeing dialysis patients crying with no help. It is happening here in Kenya. There are some who went to India before even this SHA came, wamekwama huko. I don't know if you're aware of that. If you call the government of India and they give you the data of Kenyans when you wamekwama India, you will be shocked. And if you look at the condition in which they are staying in India, it's terrible. These are things many Kenyans do not know because the government we have was put in place out of propaganda. Remember, and never again, Kenyans, even as we are fighting this, because I know the strategy we are going to lay from today or from the days to come will literally collapse this government. So as we move forward, let's also think that the atrocity being done.
The speakers of both houses of parliament, your leadership, the Chief Justice, your leadership, the Deputy Chief Justice, the Honorable Attorney General, all cabinet secretaries,
Malia, could you mute, please?
all county governors led by the chairperson,
Mute Malia, mute Malia.
All members of parliament.
Yeah, so I was saying that the strategies, because many Kenyans seems not to know, and I'm just bringing a context first before I bring my idea I just learned. The strategies we need to bring today are strategies meant for fighting mediocrity in its highest roots, animosity that's supposed to subvert the other animosity. And before I was telling you that the government, not even the government, the person we have at the helm of our governance system today is not someone who understands the Queen's language. Huyu ni mtu ambaye anasema Kiswahili. Leo enda shika Wales. Na unajua venye anaongea. Kuna kijana hapo anaitwa Wales, hakikisha hizo maneno zote zenye anasema asipatikane after 2 days, Wales ameenda. We need to know the personality before even we bring on the strategy. As we discuss the strategy, also Kenyans who have gone to school like myself, we need to literally bring in the context and know this and come out with a strategy that can fight animosity. We are dealing with a ruthless human being. I don't know if many Kenyans, me, I vied through UDA sometimes back. So I'm telling you somebody I know. Kenyans do not know Ruto. Ruto is someone that he has no sense for forgiveness at all. But he has a very high humor for revenge. And right now, there is a palpable intel that everyone who has, because right now they call it that Rigathi wanted to subvert the will of the people. That is how they massage it, to subvert the will of the people. And it really brought a lot of chaos to the extent that Ruto was even annoyed by the security agencies in this country. And so many things are happening. So going forward, we really need to know that it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of ruthlessness that is going to be meted on us. So what do we do? Strategy number one, to my thought, we don't need to go to the street without an objective. We know very well we have a problem with the Ministry of Health. We plan a day, we organize a day, we go to the, it can even be every Monday. So many Kenyans do not have jobs. It can even be every Monday. We go to Ministry of Health, areas where there are atrocities going on. Ministry of Health, IEBC, Safaricom, if we can plan strategically and it is something that is, it is a vicious circle, you know, we move in that circle. At least every single week, we have to attack and leave a mark. I don't know if someone is getting this clear. We have to attack and attack, but leave unforgettable mark. Because if you are in the street, they will abduct us and they will start saying that we have no objection, we have nothing we are fighting about. And for them, they are looking at that like, these are people who have been sent by someone. These are people who are being sponsored. You know, that is how they look at it. But now we need to be issue-based, issue-focused, and a very little, you know, when we talk of little, we mean even in the ICT space, even in the, you know, even within the social media spaces, we are little. We have nothing to leave aside. If you see him commenting about anything good, he is attacked. And this one should run through that vein from Ruto all the way to your MCA. These are brothers and sisters in the same village. They do the same thing. These are people, because if actually we are here because your members of parliament cannot be able to fight for your behalf. So if we have to fight anything that is going to make us actually have people who can be able to govern us well and change our governance system and listen to people, then of course we have to focus on the whole vein. I don't know why your member of parliament is, sisi tulichoma yetu hakuangi huko nyumbani. Why is your member of parliament coming? What is your member of parliament? What is Mutuse coming to do in your village when already has caused chaos nationally? Ask him. Why is this guy getting himself even buying a helicopter? Why? Ask him. Why is he owning houses? Why? Ban those houses. They are not making sense. Until Kenyans, how many projects worth billions of Kenyan shillings that right now many Kenyans do not even know that there are projects in your area that were then allocated funds. Yesterday you saw Murara in Mavoko. Almost 88 million just went like that. And you see children playing in that field, eh? And Kenyans are not aware that even there was money allocated there. I'm very happy that we are well informed. We can do what we can do to the bit that can ensure that we have an election in 2027 or before then, just as it has happened in Botswana. Or if it cannot, because I don't even believe that there is any election that can happen in this country with Ruto himself, and they will decide to leave power. It is not happening anytime soon. The only way possible is to ensure that a revolution is
Doctor,
done.
sorry, I don't mean to come in, but just if you could land in 1 minute, please, Doctor, so you could have some more speakers speak. Thank you.
I'm gonna land. The only way possible
the people who represent us actually not representing our wills. So our constitution, the people who made this constitution, I think they saw something like this happening, whereby politicians they get themselves into a dome whereby they shut off the voice of the people. And the constitution, in some of its articles, actually focuses on public participation, whereby for every bill that passes through parliament, it has to go through public participation. Article 1(2) of the constitution says that the sovereign power can either be exercised directly by the people themselves or through. So we have the option of exercising our sovereignty directly without going through the elected representatives. One way in which we usually practice this direct exercise of sovereign power is by election. So kila mtu ana cast vote yake, but between the elections ndio kunakuwaga na governance. That's the 4 years or 5 years between elections. That's the most important part. See the election year. So during this governance time, the MPs wanatuforget, wanaenda miaka 5 huko, alafu wanarudi mwaka 5 tena kutafuta kura. Wakati hii miaka 5 vitu zenye cost of living inaongezeka, corruption inaongezeka, as in the people are forgetting kabisa hizi miaka 5. Mnauawa mkienda kwa streets to protest these bills. So the sustainable solution that I think we should work on ni institutionalize public participation, as in the world level is the lowest level of representation, and the constitution fourth schedule is something I've shared there. Fourth schedule of the constitution functions of the county governments. Actually, Article 174C states that the essence of devolution by the constitutional letter is for the people to have the power of self-governance through public participation. So in this fourth schedule, it says that the county government has the responsibility to ensure that the people have can develop their administrative capacity for them to exercise their powers of public participation in governance at the local level. So that's what we should be running for, co-organize as a people. Because about 50 million people, our fate is being controlled by a few thousand people, the political class. Na hatuna nguvu. Yani tumesurrender all our sovereign power to these 1,000 people for 4 years between the elections. Election year ndo wanakuja, wanasema yenyewe uko na nguvu, naomba kura yako. But wakati wa governance, wanaona huna nguvu yoyote kuongelea kuhusu policies, bills zenye zapita parliament, things that affect you, taxes, vitu kama hizo. They don't care about your opinion. Yesterday, when the court was giving the judgment, kuna judge alisema kwamba there is no law governing public participation in Kenya. So, in short, they are saying that public participation, they consider okay, ama they consider that they consider it's successful. It's successful in the eyes of the politician. Politician anasema mlisubmit hizi submissions to parliament, 60% wamesema mko sawa na kuongeza hii miaka ya president. And that's final. Hakuna mtu anaenda kwa audit ama kufuatilia everybody's submission. The political class wenyewe wako na hiyo power ya kuficha, ya kuhide the truth from you, to hide information from you. whereas the constitution inasema kwamba you have the right to information. So what we have to do ndo tuweze kuwin against this political class. Hata tukisema we drain the swamp, we can't drain corruption. Research shows that other than the cost of living and unemployment, the other main issue that Kenyans are concerned with ni corruption. Corruption iko kwa all arms of government, executive, legislature, judiciary. Yani the whole government is not working for the people. The government is working for those who are in power. President akitaka kutoa deputy inafanya within a day. Nyinyi mkitaka flood relief ama mnaleta ama ukulima yenyu, ukitaka vitu kama ukulima, as in things that matter to you, mnaletewa fertilizer fake. Hakuna mtu anapata consequence. There's no consequences to those people who perpetrate such things, such corrupt processes. So for us to win against this 1,000 people in the political class, we have to organize ourselves. Otherwise, tukishinda tukisema constitution is our article 37. How many on that 7? Sorry, with the constitution talking about the right to picket, ni sawa. But as long as we'll picket today, 25th June, for a month, then the following month things go to the status quo in already normal, we won't achieve anything. But if we are self-organized that we have a sustainable plan for our children, grandchildren, atapata kwamba tume-institutionalize the process of public participation so that whatever they want to go through, it'll go through. Whatever they want to isipite through parliament, haitapita. So my suggestion was kwa kila ward, citizen assembly, hakuna ward yenye ni kubwa. Ward inakuwa ndogo, as in mtu yote kwa ward. Kama kuna town hall kwa ward, kwa kila ward, kila mtu kwa hiyo ward anaweza fika kwa hiyo town hall, hata through kutembea ama kitu kama hiyo. Hakuna ward yenye ni kubwa sana mtu hawezi fika mahali popote kwa hiyo ward. So that kama mna meet once every 2 weeks, once every month, at least kuna hiyo quorum. Mna meet, mna discuss a bill that affects your area ama your economic needs as a ward. Mna discuss hiyo bill kama ni county level, kama iko kwa county assembly ama kwa parliament, mna discuss na mnaambia mnatuma hiyo submission to parliament regarding that bill as one voice, as one people. So let me give back the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Tevin. We'll have Tusiwa Forget and then Human after Tusiwa Forget. Thank you. Tusiwa Forget, can you take the mic?
Could the person go ahead just a bit, then I'll speak.
Sure. Human?
Sure, thanks. So, Tevin, thanks for that. I think you're trying to head to where all of us are heading to release the country, but your public participation. Have you seen the previous ones? Because I don't think maybe you're trying to explain the procedure of how to do public participation well, which is okay. We will do it at some point, Zakayo Akienda. But for now, we literally crashed an email trying to say we don't want the presidential term increased. They just came out and said 60% said so. Said they support. The one for Gachagua Kufa Makanga Kufa Dereva was what went across the whole country. Ata hiyo hawaku mention. In fact, it did not even factor. So I wonder, honestly, public participation will be good once we have a system that works. Otherwise, I'm sorry, but Kenya. And then there was also another idea for weekly, like we are tough weekly. This week we go to MOH, next week Safaricom. it is what was happening, and I really don't think it. First of all, they will mentally exhaust you. Don't you see the amount of things that you have to deal with? Don't you see that they will mentally and physically exhaust you? You've said a lot of people don't have jobs, but they really need to live their lives. CRT, they don't have jobs, so now their work is to just go and begin at the government till infinity. I really believe that the one way, because we don't have legislature, that is a very serious thing. Tushaona Supreme Court ndio wanakimbiza ku swear in our like the person that has committed so many mauaji in my life that I've ever even met. We ndio wana swear in. We don't have executive. There is a way tumebaki ni sisi. And there's no one that is going to come and save Kenyans. That is my main message. Ni mimi na wewe. Unaona mimi na wewe. As much as we look like we don't have, ni mimi na wewe too, with whatever we have. And eventually, the people will have to demonstrate whether directly or indirectly. They didn't say how indirectly is. Mimi, I think the one language that cuts across a lot of revolutions is the streets. That is where the people cannot really be. Is it? You cannot argue with the streets. You see all these things that we do, they always propaganda it up. But the streets, but now the formula for the streets is where I want to get to. Because we go to the streets expecting the same thing. We go to the streets expecting the same thing, and the same thing happens to us over and over. Yo tanka inakuanga hapo, the police are gunned, they are more than us, there's abductors. No, we need to think of ways when we are saying we are supporting the streets, the people like maybe in the diaspora. Send people, if you hear the loud people that are really trying to do the streets, send like 5 guards to go with that person. Like, let's try arrange some level of security for the streets, because you can't tell me tuende tu sisi hivi tuende tukapatane na armed people that are on motorbikes, that have marungus, and people that have mabunduki, alafu tu mimi naenda pia sisi we really think that the streets is what it was before, when we used to go before 25th June, and it is not. Now they are facing us in a different way. If we can try find some level of arrangement of security, our security for the streets, any level of security really, then I think mimi, I am for the streets too, because everything, IBC to end up to some legal procedure somewhere. Now, kama waneza chukua hivi Chief Justice. I'm sorry, but I do not really have a lot of faith in the justice, ama kina parliament. So it's streets, but please let's have security for the streets so that people even come out. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Human. I think I'll just add in, just in there. I think Human, you've mentioned something which is really important about, like I think we have so many systems that we want them to work, but they're never gonna work in this government because this government is rogue. I just wanted to point that out because like you look at the healthcare, you look at everything, but you look we want this to happen, but it's never gonna happen because it's already compromised, like I was saying before. So I really liked also when Wallace was talking and he mentioned about the hashtag and also the Fridays, and I just felt all these things are really good point, and it goes back to a point that I've always said before. The streets is good, but I think we already have a template that we can go back to. I think if we really like look at this and look at what Real Joe was talking about civil disobedience, we had a template of civil disobedience, and this is the financial bill. That's what I think now as going forward. We need to look at this. I think what Wallace is talking about and all these ideas, Safaricom, boycotting Safaricom, we need to take this movement and what Human has just said, this movement, yes, you want it to go to the street. That's the end result, is the street. But I think we need to make sure we have a collective voice, the same voice that we had during this financial bill. Because I was telling some people here the other day, the finance bill, I live in the UK. I have people here, Nigerians, I have Zimbabweans here. They were all talking about the finance bill, but that's because the hashtags were rolling. Everything was being, like, everybody was talking the same thing. And I think somebody also mentioned, I think it was a doctor, like there seem to be like different clusters of conflict being put into us to divide us. But now we need to come in a collective voice, the same way that we did with the finance bill, and say hashtag, I think I've written it down, hashtag with the sovereign people of Kenya. Like that should be the what's now leading us, that we know that these systems are not working. So we at the new, like we want, I think I've written it it down. Let me just see what I've written. So all these systems we want are not working. But until now, we have a new government, as humans said. Now we want anyway, I don't want to go into a rant, but I just wanted to say that all the points are really good that have been put forward, but I feel that we need that international recognition, that international eye on Kenya, like we did with the finance bill. And I think that's the only way we can weaken Ruto, is because it is to make him look bad, like globally. That's what I just wanted to put in out there. And also like what the doctor was talking about healthcare and all these systems that are lacking. I think a human has just put in the right statement to say that, yes, we have all these systems that we can talk about all day and make them work and want them to work. But right now we are talking to deaf ears, because until we have that government out of that place, because I think it's like a disease. There's been a disease in our government, not just now, but a long time. There's been an institutionalization mentality that people in government have had, and that needs to be taken out as a disease, like as a cancer, and we start all over again. And put in all those systems that are in the constitutions for the people, for the sovereign people, for the rights of the people of Kenya. So I just wanted to put in there. I'll let Real Joe come in. Real Joe?
I think thank you, Maggie. But
apologies.
I think you can.
We can have Wallace.
Yeah, thank you, Maggie.
Can I say something for a minute?
Yes, yeah. Wallace, you had your hand up. You can talk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to agree with the desire for, of course, protest from Ajoga and from Human. And as you've noted, Maggie, we've got the template for that, and we know their response for it. Human is admitting it. The tanker will be there. The kidnapping will be there. If you try and institute your own security, are those vigilantes? Do you go with your own pangas? Doesn't that exacerbate how the security forces will respond to you? Because now they will immediately say, these were goons, they came out with weapons, and they were coming to kill us, so we shot them. So that's why we are saying you take this thing to a new level. And we build the unity. We will go on the streets. Please do not think we are not saying we'll go on the streets. We are saying when you are faced with the same challenge and you have a solution, but it keeps getting the same negative result, change. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. The protest that didn't work then won't work today. And I challenge you, go do it. People are still afraid. And me, what I'm telling you is this: when we build the confidence of Kenyans to see we can actually move on a simple thing, like singing our anthem together. I like Joe's idea, fine. We'll make it maybe Tuesday and Friday. Maybe the first 2 Fridays, we might just do 2 Fridays, but we'll increase the way we are doing Tuesday and Thursday. Even we can make it 3 times. But the idea is we are building momentum. So that, my dear friends, the moment we'll be hitting our hashtags, because we'll be chanting it in whether you are on the street, whether, as we said, in a matatu, we will immediately be going on to our Twitters and whatever, and we unleash those hashtags so that it's amplified throughout the whole world. And if we get supporters, I'm telling you, Kenyans, we have supporters. There are people who have admired us, and they will join us, not only in singing, but spreading the hashtag. It will be hitting out there, and it will be bringing that dimension of shame. Let me tell you, every human being hates shame. They hate to be exposed. That's why wicked people like Ruto, if you expose him, he'll kill you. That's why witnesses for his cases disappear. They know they are wicked, but a human being is a very funny creature. You want to be wicked, but you want to be thought of as good, which is why he goes around saying, here we are going to put 10 billion in new classes. Here we're going. Every human being wants to be considered good, even if they are doing evil. So this is what I'm saying. When we build the unity, Kenyans get used to, we can move in unison. We can make an impact in unison. My friend, after we've done those unison, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 months, I promise you, the moment we say, today we are singing the anthem, and watu wamezoea kukua kwa social media afterwards wanna post, then we say, now let's march on a particular place, even if it's in 3 months or whatever time it will be. The numbers that will be there, you will be stunned. It will be unstoppable. But if you try it now, when people are still freshly afraid they are being abducted, we are asking, where is Aoko? And as I'm saying, we know who has her. Right now, you will not get the numbers you want. You will not get the volume you want. Let's build our volume, guys. Let's change our strategy. We've started it. So like today at 2, even if you're in space, we'll tell people, don't even close the space. Sing in that space as Kenyans. Sing in the space, then go into send your hashtags. Yeah, so that's how we'll tell Kenyans in diaspora, if we are far apart from each other, create whatever space you'll be in, create even a space just for that event. Sing, declare, Ruto must go. Of course, you can't all speak, but post it it may be in the comments, and then unleash them on with hashtags. See, that means it's of course going on to Twitter space. You're throwing all those hashtags there. My friend, wait and see what's going to happen. You'll be shocked. Peace is more powerful. The pen is mightier than the sword. Or you thought the person who wrote that didn't know what they were saying. This time it's the keyboard. It's mightier than the gun. It's mightier than the bullet. It's even mightier than that walking initially, coming out. Let's come out because we first written, and the world is well aware. It's like we are clarifying our name. Sorry, let me use 30 seconds. We are clarifying that we, the people of Kenya, are, as the sovereign, are legally using what our constitution allows us to use. We are protesting, we are spreading hashtags, and so that they see after 6 months or whatever, when we start moving in different ways, we are justified. Because it will just have been, we have told them, we have told the international community, you've supported us, we've called out the shame, let's use shame. We've shamed and we've said it's beyond the president. That's why you're seeing the hashtags I've shared there. It's not beyond no to Ruto, it is, we rejected bad governance, we reject corruption. Remember, this is an endemic thing. This guy was not the alpha and omega of this. There are guys who've eaten before. We will take back all that crap later. They can't take it anyway. It's either in Swiss banks, but I'm digressing. But I promise you guys, let's perfect the unity first. Everybody can sing. The doctors can sing. The nurses can sing. The youth can sing. Everybody can sing the anthem, and everybody can unleash their hashtags, and everybody can bombard their social media space. Reject unity. Do your own small things. Try and do your Tumande things as nurses. Let's see how far you'll go. But the day we do it together with you, we'll keep doing the unity. And the day we'll join you. You'll be standard, the numbers will bring on your behalf. Okay, that's it.
Thank you so much, Wallace. We'll have Simon Jaro, please, next. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. Okay, I just wanted to say that actually these are very sad times to be a Kenyan. These are very sad times to be a Kenyan because we are having a very serious breach in our constitution, considering what is currently happening and what has been happening since this regime came into power. You can see things which are happening with no regard to human rights, maybe quoting just maybe the abductions. No disregard. It's a very huge disregard to the human rights. The capturing of the institutions. Our institutions actually are not functioning right now. I think they have been controlled by one human being, the son of a bitch who is up there. It's like all institutions are being controlled by one guy. Yeah? So they have been captured, all of them. So what can we do? What can we do right now? I've been hearing some opinions here. I heard you, Wallace. Wallace has been just talking right now, but I think Wallace, he has talked so much, very good points. But I think for this regime, for these people right now, I think to get them out of power, I don't think we can use the constitutional means. I think it is high time. It is high time right now that we just stoop to their level. We just stoop to their level. We hit the streets and we hit them hard. I think there is no way right now that we can say that there is a constitutional way that we can use to get Ruto out of power. I think every institution has been captured. Abductions have become the order of the day. So I think maybe we can't maybe sit down and think that maybe we can wait for the elections, because we all know that the occurrences of the country right now, it's very sure that the elections, they won't be fair. So I think it's high time we just come together, we unite as the people, we unite, we re-strategize, we hit the streets, and considering how they have been handling the protesters since the June 25th, I think this time we need to change. We need to change because I think we should be answering fire with fire. There is no way this time we can go to the streets carrying our flags and we are being shot down to die. I think it's high time. It's high time. People like me, let's say, let me speak on my behalf. Maybe when the time comes, upper front line, at the front line, I'm ready to die for my motherland. I'm ready to die for my motherland. So there is no way I can be going to fight with somebody. I can't go to a gunfight with a flag. No. This time we can't go to the gunfight with a flag. I think it's high time when we unite, we hit the streets, we need to hit them harder. I think tutawasha moto mahali penye kunahitaji kuwashwa. That is what I'm saying, because right now tukiendelea kupush, you can see for yourselves, nothing is working. These guys, they are seated somewhere, they think everything is a joke. They are taking us for a joke right now. Wanajua tu tutarun the spaces, tutaongea, we'll do that, then ikifika the times zenye tunasema tutaenda streets, tutakuja tupige kelele kidogo tunyamaze. No. I think we should change that. I think the next time tunafaa kuenda kwa streets, tukitana kama tunaenda kwa streets, it doesn't have to be right now, but it can take maybe at a month. It can take months to plan that. It can take it can take some time, maybe next year, but before 2027 ifike, I think you people tunafaa kukuja pamoja, very united. We hit the streets very hard so that tutoe huyu jamaa hapo kabisa aende nyumbani, because tukingoja tukisema elections and everything, no, there is no hope in that. Hakuna hope hapo hata kidogo, considering venye hao watu wanarun vitu saizi. There is no hope there. I mean, you can just take an example whereby the finance bill. I mean, we lost very many comrades during that the protest. We lost very many comrades. Then they just come and rule it out that the finance bill was constitutional. I mean, angalia venye wanatupima sana bana. I think we need to re-strategize and we hit the streets, and when we hit them hard. Thank you. That's my submission.
Thank you so much, Jera. Thank you. I'll just let Drew come in a little bit and then we can continue.
Okay, later, because he mentioned me, can I rejoin in 1 minute later?
Sure, Jogalas.
So I think I was in just 1 minute. When you try and, first of all, he's talking out of two dimensions. He knows that if you want to make it more aggressive, you need time. So while you are taking that time, you are talking about next year, doing something more powerful. Between then and now and then, we build the unity first, because you need unity. That thing will not work. And then on top of that, the moment you choose, as I've told you in advance, the moment you choose to use violence, okay, again, be ready for counter-violence. It seems you are ready for that, perfect. But you still need unity to come out in numbers. You show up 10 people, 50 people with your whatever arms you believe you think you have, you'll be a walkover. You'll be run over even before you can blink. But for me, I never advocate for violence. And by the way, I don't know if anybody mentioned the elections here, so I don't know where you came with that point from, that we are not waiting. Nobody has even spoken of that at all. It's not even been mentioned. You're the first one to mention it. Nobody is talking about waiting for the next elections. What we are saying is we build the unity of the people right now, we the sovereign, and we start to exercise that will. Number one, to shame these people. Number two, to even that public participation. I think Telvin has mentioned it. The reason that it is fake is because they are in control of it. They tell you send emails, then they tell you 80% were for. But why do you know, some of you don't know, others do know, that we created a blockchain system online for voting, because the goal of it was to take control of public participation. So that now when we say Kenyans have voted 10 million, 12 million, 300, those numbers you get for elections, Kenyans voted on this issue, and on the blockchain, it's transparent. Majority said no, 90% said no. They cannot hide that. It's a transparent server. That's how they've been stealing elections. So we want those kind of solutions. We start taking control. You cannot say you go to the extreme ends. That's why I told you when we start with this anthem and these hashtags and getting our voice out to the world, even beyond Kenya, we are showing the world we are constitutional, and these three arms that we delegated authority to, they are killing us. They've been killing us. They've been murdering us, and we are continuing to tell them, as you are watching, every time we sing the anthem, we are reminding them, we don't want your corrupt governance, release all abductees, whatever hashtag we want to put in that point. In fact, even if it's say we are saying the whole government must resign, we are the bosses. Real Joe is a boss. If he comes, if you're his employee and he walks into the office and says, I'm giving you 2 hours, you're fired, here's your severance package, don't waste your time going to courts, here's 2 months salary, get out of my office and leave. That's it. You're not going to have a lot of complications. But we, the people of Kenya, we can fire them with numbers. The system, the blockchain system, it's there now. m-kura.vote. I'll put it for you in the link. We've been asking Kenyans, test it. Kenyans, as I've told you, they're not used to participating. That's why they are not showing up well in the protests. So we want Kenyans to regain their vision that we can be doing things together. Just beginning with this simple, every week we have blitzing social media, we are singing the anthem, we are posting our videos, and we are making a hashtag trend for something we are commanding to be changed in Kenya. So that by the day we decide enough is enough, the world you've seen for the last 6 months, we've tried to tell them to obey us, they have not obeyed us, then that is up to what Kenyans will want to do at that point. But let it be clear, then there'll be a clear track record. And of course, Mkura will be working, will be showing we, the people, have rejected what they've done. Kenyans have gone registered, they've put it as an issue, and we can see online, 90% have rejected or 98%. How can you say the emails you've received, 60% are yes? And here online, when we've put the same debate and it's the same people sending you the emails, it has said 90% no. That is how we will beat them. Technology, unity. But as I've told you, if you're in a rush and you want to go tomorrow and get violent, God bless you. We will bury you, we'll add you to the list of the heroes. But if you are patient, patient is the power, my friends. Achani damu moto saa yote. Mutakufa, we can win this. That's why you see there's a difference between generals and the soldiers. The generals have to sit and think and strategy. There's a time for the action, but you have to think through what you are doing. We are pissed off. Everybody is angry. That's why we are all in spaces. But you move rashly, we will lose a lot of people. Wazalendo, we'll lose you guys. We want you here at the end when we are winning. So anyway, because I promise I'll be short, that's it. But unity will make all these protests you want to work, all these moves. But let it have been clear to the world. The people of Kenya, the sovereign people of Kenya, continually, for the last 6 months or whatever period, will keep singing and commanding. Their 3 branches and their forces refused to listen to them. So that if things exacerbate beyond that, the world will understand. They will know who is on the right and who was constitutionally right all that time. So thank you.
Maggie, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Joy, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So basically, just to come in, a lot has been said. And one thing I would like to also encourage us is, we like to talk about Article 1 that says, we the people, we the people, we the people, we are the sovereign power. That is what Article 1 says. And we like to mention it in almost literally everything we talk about. But we also have to be alive to the fact that for us to achieve Article 1, we have to be just as united as Wallace has said. We have to be with the people. We the people can only be achieved if we are united. if we are a disgruntled generation, we will never achieve we the people. And look at this. The political class, the executive, is using tactics to ensure that you will never be united. Why? It is divide and rule tactic. That's why you are being thrown into a conversation of the eastern side of the mountain, the what side of the mountain, the region of Siju where, the western region. That is to divide you. Also, we are being thrown into a limbo by them saying that, the actions of June 25th, which everybody knows was a patriotic movement. And everybody's now, the executive is trying to say that it was a properly planned coup attempt just to divide Kenyans and make some Kenyans distance themselves from those actions and say, no, we do not want to participate in a coup. These are divide and rule tactics. So in the build-up to all this, for us to achieve all this, we have to find ways of fostering unity among us. And this doesn't mean that we don't have to agree on literally everything, but we have to agree on the fact that we want a good country. We want to get this regime out of the country. That is what all of us want. How we get to this, we need to find ways. We don't have to agree in ideology, but we have to have a common goal. Okay? So I personally always try to get our opinions from people. And one thing, the reason why I liked the idea that Wallace came up with, and the one that we chant every 2 p.m. we chant we sing the national anthem, and we chant the hashtags that we've said, Ruto must go, stop abductions, and all those kind of things. Why I like that idea is I sat down and looked at it deeply and saw that is one thing that can build momentum, because I've said several times that for us to achieve 25th of June, and this is just a past. This is the past. I don't know whose mic is on. Wakenya, your mic is on.
Sorry.
Mute the host. Mute the host, yeah.
How can the host mute herself?
Mute the host, mute yourself. Okay. So for us to achieve 25th, it was a build-up, by the way. Most of you are so much aware of that. Small protest, and they grew, and they became one huge protest. So I'm looking at this idea from Wallace, and I'm seeing it is one way through which you can build a momentum, because Kenyans like to do challenges. And if we start this patriotism challenge, like Wallace is calling it, and we start chanting at every day 2 p.m. from wherever you are in the bank, you start chanting, you start singing the national anthem, and you are recording and we are posting in our socials. Wherever you are in a matatu, you start doing that every 2 p.m. We know if it is just 2 p.m., you're in alarm, everybody, wherever you are, you don't have to be all of you in the streets, but everybody has to be doing the same thing. It will go viral. It will build the momentum. The unity will come, because one way of finding one common unity of purpose, that is a very good thing. The unity will grow if we do that consistently. And this way I'm starting to advocate for that idea of Wallace. If we do this consistently, it builds momentum. It shows the unity. It shows that people are still speaking one voice. It will send a serious message. And it is one step of getting back and hitting one proper street that could be the fall of this regime. But it has to come on a build-up, because right now, I assure you, we will say 20th Street on Tuesday. Some people will appear, some people will not come. I'm always open. I will say, let's not go. But when people agree, when more than 2 people agree, and I am the third person and more than 2 people agree, I will turn up. I will always turn up. I will turn up. I've never been afraid to turn up for the streets banner. We've been doing this for a very long time. I will turn up. But when it fails, also we don't blame each other. But the most important thing, let us find tactics that can work right now. Without, like, I think Malia said that without having to expose Kenyans into bloodshed and things like that. Let us find tactics that can work. And I am for the patriotism challenge. Let us find a way of chanting this and singing the national anthem from today, 2 p.m., wherever you will be, record. Let's start slowly. I know not everybody will do it today, but if a few people do it, the next time a few people do it, like that, people will always consider that. Because I'll tell you what, I'll repeat, we will not go to the courts anymore and get justice. It is a wild goose chase. The courts are against us right now. And I don't think we need to go to the courts to go and seek justice for matters education. No, it is your right. I don't think you need to go to the court to go and seek justice for matters health. No, it is your right. You don't need to go to the court for that. And moving forward, we need to start thinking on how we engage the government in some of these things. We just outrightly need to come out and say, we do not want, we don't want, we don't want, we do not want. We are not going to the courts, we don't want. We don't want. Civil disobedience is moral authority. Defying unjust principles and just policies is your moral responsibility. It is what defines you as a citizen. So I've spoken a lot. I was just affirming that point. I want to bring in Maggie. You had queued. I'm seeing hands up. So let me go with the speakers whose hands are up. I will start with Tusiwa Forget. Then I'll go to Ajuoga, then Jeffy. If you allow me, Maggie, is that okay?
Sure, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Tusiwa Forget, take the mic.
Yeah, thank you a lot. Thanks so much, Real Joe, Maggie, everybody who's spoken before. So now, first of all, by the way, let me just say that we need to take stock of certain realities. Malia Davis, and other people have spoken also, and they've mentioned, and I've heard this also in various spaces, this guy is very dangerous, this guy is all this and that. And how can I say this? If you decide to fight, like, I understand that's a factual reality about his personality, his character. And he's really the embodiment of the system we have because he has grown up in that system. And he knows it so well. But the fact is, if you decide to fight a war, you must first decide to win. Because if you don't, then there's no need to fight. So I was just, as a word of encouragement, don't allow fear or any kind of, however terrible he is. Of course, there have been people who've been more than that in history before, and they were brought down. So this is not an impossibility. That's number one. Number two, let us remember as well, we are dealing with more than a person. It's a system that has produced this person. And we need to grapple our minds about that because, again, we keep saying that it is very possible for us to have a revolution without revolutionary change. What happened in 2002 was some sort of a revolution, but without revolutionary change. And that is why in 2007, things happened the way they did. And why we ended up also in 2013 with those two guys, you remember? And the way people voted. So we need revolutionary change. That's the most important, foundation. Civic education is important, even as we do that build up. And finally, let me just mention about this thing about the challenge, for example, as an example of building momentum. I don't know why it has taken us so long to get here. I keep lamenting that when we had the whole world and the country, focused on us, this is what we should have done. Either way, still, it's better late than never to learn. And the fact is that we've already exercised Article 1 before. I don't know why we are trying to imagine that we haven't. In the lead up to 25th, things were happening. People were translating the bill into languages, various local languages. People are doing civic education. People are producing videos. It became the national conversation. And the people became the people. Okay? They became one block against this specific issue. And it was galvanized in that manner. And besides that, there were protests happening, although they were small. But on the other hand, there were protests happening. On this other side, people were coming up together into one block of people. And when they went contrary to what not only just the people, even like stakeholders, you know, people in the industries and all those kinds of people, even the church, when people came out and said, we don't want this finance bill, and they still went ahead, then it kicked into action. And we've already done this before. Recreating 25th is not a matter of just going to the street tomorrow. It is a matter of recreating the conditions that led to 25th. And I actually agree that the character and personality of the system embodied by this guy is the kind that you cannot per se do it through elections. You cannot impeach the guy. You cannot use the law to save the constitution from this guy or from the system. The only thing that can work is street action. But in order for that to happen, there has to be that momentum. There has to be that build-up. So as I learn, all I'm saying is simply this, that let's have the correct way of thinking. What is most immediate right now is how do we make, and remember, Reject Finance Bill was an issue-based thing. I'm going to burst your bubbles, by the way. I don't know if you guys really understand how infiltration and intelligence agencies work. It's even the thing about, what's his name again? Gachagua, you know, apparently organizing a coup. There's a possibility that may have been a thing. Either way, still, it's not through the Gen Z protests, but they're going to target to the Gen Z protests because they cannot believe that they're called catechumen, you know, cattle humans. These goyim, these parasites, that they stood up with one voice. And so they're going to target in that manner. But the fact is that where was I going with this? Yeah, so the fact is that after Reject Finance Bill happened the way it did, something came up which for me was inconclusive. I understand the sentiment, but the hashtag itself was inconclusive. Ruto must go is not complete by itself. You have to tag with something specific, a specific issue. And I think that's what, it has been an impediment. If I'm going to be honest, I'm just finishing in a minute. If I'm going to be honest, it has been an impediment because it can be misused by the state to say these people wanataka kupindua serikali, and so it justifies the abductions and all these funny things they are doing. But if it was an issue-based, if we come together around an issue-based, recreating the conditions that led to 25th, which is there's a specific issue and there's a momentum and a build-up. My friends, we don't even have to wait for next year's budget-making season. We can deal with Adani, we can deal with Chief, we can deal with anything, even the abductions themselves. Whatever the issue is, as long as it's an issue, we can recreate those conditions. So let me land there, Riljo. I'll come back with my other account. Sorry, I was doing something with this. And also let me advertise a bit here that we are planning to visit the families of the dead, you know, the guys we lost during the protest. So you can find the information on my profile. And to patane baadaye. Thank you.
Thank you. Tisiwa Forget. Tisiwa Forget is an initiative started by John Seremani, who is part of, maybe you would have seen, he was co-hosting with me. They are seeking justice for the families that lost their loved ones during the protests that happened on 25th. And they are trying to get justice for these families. They are also supporting those families. So you can link up with Tusiwa Forget. You can follow them and support them wherever you can to be able to ensure that we get justice. Otherwise, like I said, when we were starting the space, we have to find justice for ourselves. And that is quite unfortunate. Imagine an initiative like Tusiwa Forget that is trying to get justice for those people who lost their family members, and the government is silent. I have said before that we have also been trying to seek justice through an initiative that we started through our Bunge la Wananchi in Jivanji, and we had to go to East African Court of Justice and sued the government and things like that. Imagine we have to seek justice for ourselves. Even though lately I am not so much involved with Bunge la Wananchi, I saw they went to the other side. But anyway, that is a story for another day. So basically, the topic of today is pursuit of justice, and we have seen that justice is something that we have to source for justice ourselves. The judiciary is supposed to uphold the rule of law and ensure that justice is our shield and defender. That is the one role that they have been given in our constitution, and they have failed to perform that role. We are living in a country whereby education funding model, such a simple thing, Kenyans have to go to court to demand better. Whereas we have a government that has a budget of about 676 billion for education, and the majority of this budget does not support the education itself. It supports administration of education, such a pity. We also have a government that has bursaries all over, and leaders have bursaries, access to bursaries, funding from MCA to governor to all the top, to the office of the first lady, to the spouse of the deputy president, to spouse of the prime cabinet secretary. All of them have bursaries. Yet we don't have education that works, and they have huge amount of money in terms of bursaries. And we don't have people learning. Right now, today, it was just thrown on people. Today's a public holiday, yet there was an examination going on and things like that. So we are in a country where we have to pursue justice on our own, and that is what drives our topic today, pursuit of justice. And we have all agreed that to pursue justice as a citizenry, there's no way citizens will pursue justice without civil disobedience. In fact, it is the only way to pursue justice as a citizenry. There is no other way that citizens will pursue justice other than civil disobedience. Civil disobedience is enshrined in our constitution under Article 37. It is your right again. But not to mention the constitution so much, the people are above the constitution, and governing authorities know that the people are above the constitution, because there is no constitution without the people. That is why if you read the preamble of the Kenyan constitution, we say we give ourselves this constitution. Therefore, the constitution does not exist without the people, and therefore the people are above the constitution. But for you to be above this constitution, you have to be united as the people. You have to be the people to be above the constitution. And that is why we are all calling for unity. Right now, the country is divided. They have managed to do that. We are not speaking the same language. We have people talking about, there are people who are disgruntled because of the impeachment of the deputy president. We have so many people, a lot of things happening. They're even throwing it so much at us and saying, 25th was a coup, so that as many people as possible can distance themselves from this. But do you know what advantages we have? We have the following advantage. We have an health system that does not work, and Kenyans can see it for themselves. That is an advantage to us. We have an education system that does not work, and Kenyans can see it from themselves. That is an advantage to us. We have an economy that is crippled with debt. Just yesterday, IMF approved another 78 billion, which is, as we all know.
Don't talk about that shit, bro. It breaks our heart.
I didn't get you rightly. Someone was trying to talk.
Okay, I couldn't just hold my horses on this one. And I really respect you guys. Ruto alituambia the reason why he went for Adani is because hakuwa anataka kwenda kwa mkopo. Like he goes for a loan, which becomes a burden for taxpayers. Sindio? He took Adani for JKIA, Shift, the one we're calling SHA now, and Katrako, the energy sector. Akasema he did that because he didn't want Kenyans to be indebted. And then just yesterday, as recent as yesterday, the IMF gives him a loan, 78, is it 78 or 74?
78 billion.
78 billion Kenya shillings as a loan. This is not donation. It's a loan, which means tutalipa. If you take a loan, you get to pay that loan. So don't go there, bro.
Yeah. So actually, Jeffrey, maybe you didn't get me right. What I was saying is some of the advantages that we have as a people is I was talking about the shift that does not work, education system that does not work. The government is taking another huge loan of 78 billion approved by IMF, which is an advantage to us. Why? It is going to the IMF. They always give their loans and they always want you to raise taxes. The government will try to raise taxes. The people have a right again to defy these taxes, just as we did with the finance bill. So these are advantages that are coming to our end, and this can unite us. They give us a reason to fight, and they give us more reasons to defy this regime. That is what actually I meant. I was not in support of the loan. I would never be in support of that. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to say is, we have to be the people to be as powerful as we want to be. We have to be the people. We have to be united. That is the major call I'm trying to put across here. And unity sometimes, as a people, unity sometimes starts slowly by slowly. It is build up. It is build up. That is why I agree so much with the sentiments from Wallace. When we start slowly with this challenge, patriotism challenge, and the people join from wherever they are, people will join. Kenyans are ready. Kenyans are ready to join these kind of challenges. People will join. I know when we start from the onset, not everybody will do it, but we have to do it regardless. We have to do it. We have to chant, we have to chant, we have to chant, and it goes viral, and we chant, and people get the unity of purpose, and people know that every day, maybe every Friday at 2 p.m., they have to stop whatever they are doing, or they have to chant all this from wherever they are to send a message. And lastly, we need to illuminate the masses as much as we can. We need to do that. I like what the likes of Willie Oeba are doing in the matatus every day. If we can have as many people as possible doing those kind of things, educating people directly from the sources, from where they are, that will work in ensuring that people get the message. The message is driven home. Maggie, I want to get back to you. Then you can give Wallace and John a chance to speak. I saw your hand is up, Maggie.
Thank you. I think it's a really good discussion, but I think I just want to be a mediator to this. I think what Human said, she's not in that here, but she said something really important about the systems. Like right now, even like what just Jeffrey, thank you for your points, but what you just the anger that you had when Real Joe mentioned the loan. I get that, but what I just want to say is we can spend so much time here on space. We can argue, we can feel bad, but already I think Human mentioned the right thing. Systems have failed and they're not gonna work in this government. So we need to know that. I think that's what we need to put in our heads. Let's not say, okay, this is we already know they're failing. So what do we need to do? And I think that's where now this comes in, like what we're doing about what Wallace is saying. We need that collective, what Joe is saying, we need that collective voice, that one voice that we had during the finance bill. That's the way I came to know about Twitter and all these things. And I didn't know anything about this before, and I didn't have this passion that I had for my country. But I had it because of what was going on in Kenya and the finance bill, like the uproar about it. There was WhatsApp messages about it. But everybody had a collective voice and a collective. It wasn't about Ruto must go. Like I think somebody mentioned about the Ruto must go hashtag. That one it's a no-go. It's a dead horse, to be honest, because there's some people who support Ruto. Even today, there's some people who will still say that this government is doing the right thing. So I think, as somebody said, we have to be, we have to look at the root cause. And what's that? Our constitution is not being upheld. The sovereignty of the people is not being upheld. So I think that's what we need to. I know it's angry, like it angers me even. It angers me so much when even the doctor was talking about the she and sha and how the systems is failing. Women's giving birth in ways that it should not be happening in the 24th century. And I think this is what us as individuals, everybody, even my grandma, they need to understand that everybody has a right to live a life of good health. Sorry, apologies. But yes, I'm just saying, like, we need to understand. I think we need to understand what our rights is as a people, and our rights is as we stand on the soils of Kenya. So I just wanted to put in that we can feel bad because of already what the government is doing. They're pushing us to a corner, but now we know this government is the fight. This is the fight. We are the opposition party, like us, the people. We are at the opposition party, and now we need to go and fight this government, get them out, and make sure when they go out, it goes out, and our systems that we want them to work will work according to how they're meant to work. So I just wanted to put in that. Thank you for your time. Joy, you can come in.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Maggie. So let me give John a chance to speak. Then we can progress to, we can go. I see Wallace, your hand is up, and Jeffy. So let me give John. John, you're not ready to speak? Okay. Wallace, let me give you a quick, I know you have a quick rejoinder, then I give Jeffy.
Yes, thank you. First, it's good. I knew you'd see what I'm saying, the building of the momentum. Remember, we are all angry when we talk to the like Jeffy. So we know what the things that get to us. We don't want the loans. We don't want all these things. But that unity is so important. The whole concept also, as we start singing together, is we start, as Joe is pointing out and noticing, we start being the sovereign together. We start actualizing that sovereignty. Right now, it's a string of text on our constitution that we the sovereign. But as long as we keep allowing ourselves to be played these psychological games, Mara now, as he said, they do an impeachment so that they can see, can we stop supposedly people of the mountain? That's why you see my T-shirt for years, since 2010, Ukabila ni ujinga. I kept trying to tell Kenyans, our tribal divisions are our weakness. Now, do you see our strength should be when we are truly we the people, when we truly become a nation of people. So it's understandable. People are frustrated. They want something to be done immediately. But think of this logically. When it's taken you 61 years to get into a mess, and it just keeps getting worse and worse, don't think there'll be a quick fix. A quick fix will be a self-deception. Hasara. You move out of anger, you are just going to increase the losses because we don't have the arms and we are not interested in taking up any. People talk here bravely, and it's fine and it's agreeable. That we will let's change how we are protesting. It won't work. You don't have the numbers for that. You don't have the unity for that, and that's not the way we want to go. I can see a friend here, Mungadi is in. I know he's from Uganda. He's I think advised us in this space or another space I was in that he's seeing us going the Uganda way if we are not careful, So, in fact, by the way, I'm going to invite fellow East Africans to be singing with us. They speak Swahili. And today they support us. You see, Tanzania is also starting to go into this kind of rubbish. We will sing with them next time. But the idea is this. Hold your horses. You're angry. You have a right to be angry. You have a right to be ticked off. But the strategy that needs to happen now needs first we build up, we swell. There's a swell like a big tsunami wave, okay? It amplifies, it builds, it builds, it builds. The day we move Jeffy, it cannot be stopped. And it will be evident to the world that before we moved, we kept telling them, we kept ordering them because we are the sovereign. We told them, stop abducting us, stop killing us. We reject Adani deal. We reject the IMF loans. We'll be telling them on hashtags. We are not recognizing this loan. You know who will pay you IMF because you know you're giving it to these guys. They bank it in Swiss bank accounts. So we know your game. You're trying to enslave Africa using debts that you're giving to corrupt leaders. We will call them out for it. We will shame them as well. Let's build a swell up, Jeffy. But if you want to go tomorrow, tunakupenda, you're our fellow Mzalendo. We'll just feel bad that you'll come out 10 people, you'll be shot, then the next thing we'll be saying, either we'll be saying, where is Jeffy? Jeffy has been abducted. Or we'll be burying you with honors and whatever it is. But if you can wait, because it's taken 61 years, where are you running to? Unakimbia wapi? Mbio za sakafuni ishia kwa ukingoni. You'll not go far. Be patient. There is power in patience. There's power in unity. Unity is unbeatable. So let me keep it that short because guys need to talk. But guys, we are going to change this. Let's do it the right way. Let's build the swell. Let's become the tsunami. I imagine if Ugandans sing with us and Tanzania, it'll be a shame to this government that everybody outside can see you are being wicked, fake participation. That's why I'm saying we'll take away even the public participation using blockchain. We'll be showing them, you guys say you got these emails. Here is our system. Everybody on this system is a Kenyan and they're registered to vote. And they have said no. They are done. But first, unity. If you keep running to get violent, hey, we salute your bravery and we understand it and we understand what is pushing you to that point. But we are telling you, you will if our brother had the mic, how have they managed? How many people have opposed Museveni? Have you seen what he's been doing? He used to do to Bobby Wine and this guy, I've forgotten the other guy, who they even used to mace straight into his. I was shocked. M7. That's how our guy wishes he could be, but our constitution doesn't allow him. Why? Because we always have to be consulted. That is why they are adulterating the public participation system and trying to say there's no threshold. How about we create the threshold because we, the people, are the sovereign and we have created our own blockchain and we are perfecting it. So that we'll be saying we are going by our blockchain. We are going, making our decisions as the people using our system, which is transparent. Everybody voted and Kenyans have said, we have refused that IMF loan. Lend it to Ruto and this team at your own risk. You know how they will pay you. We Kenyans will not pay a cent of that money you are giving to be stolen. So look at it from that point, Jeffy. But if you want to go out tomorrow, whenever, if anybody thinks they want to do the stunt, we are not encouraging it. We have advised against it. We have pleaded with you not to do it. Jump over our advice, jump over our prayers, jump over our beseeching, and the consequences we will deal with you. We will look for you to bail you out if you are not killed, and if you are killed, we will bury you. That's the best we can do for guys now.
We seem to have lost you, Wallace, for a second. Yeah. We seem to have lost Wallace for a second, but I think Wallace, have you landed?
Yes, I've landed. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jeffy, you can, I know you want to give a rejoinder. So Jeffy, I give you the mic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm saddened by the reality. Na wale watu wenye wako Kenya, especially the people who go out to the streets. Most recently that I went to was on the 20th of October. We'll be talking about last month as we'll be speaking right now. So, tumetoka hapo, tumeenda around 30 or 40 people of us. Tunatupiwa tear gas canister moja peke yake is enough to just scatter us. And I'm like, okay, what is therefore needed for us to marshal the numbers? When you talk about this movement going to the demonstrations, what numbers do we have to get there? And how do we marshal these numbers? And I think civic education, even though what wengi wanaikata, I think that is exactly what is needed. Because civic education is the dissemination of information to the lower people. Wapate kuielewa. Now this is it. We have a regime that says DCI, NPS are not responsible for the abductions and the killings and the missing persons, and they cannot account for those people who have been lost in the society. They can't account for them, you know. So when that happens, I'm like, okay, tunafaa kufanya nini sisi kama Wakenya? Are we just going to wait, sit back until this nation is plundered off? Because if they disassociate themselves from all these criminal activities, it means the nation has failed from protecting its people. That's number one. But going forward, mahali tumefika ni, it's not just about talking now. Yesterday at 6 p.m., a friend who has been politically active, talking against the injustices that this government is working and overseeing, was abducted. I've tried like sijalala the whole night. Nimejaribu kupush hiyo hashtag ya Tomboya to be released. He has not been released until now. And then I'm like, because I've always advised him in all the positions, whether in WhatsApp ama tukio hapa kwa space. Ameshikwa mpaka saa hii hatujui ako wapi. Nimejaribu kupigia watu wake, the relatives, all the contacts I've had. We have not gotten to that place to know. The last place alikuwa Langata police station. So I definitely know the next person will be me or the next person mwenye alikuwa kwa hiyo group. So I'm like, okay, for what long? How long should we wait for this injustice to continue? And you know, ile siku yenye Ruto alikuja hapo after the 25th of June, when parliament was invaded by the people, when you talk about the constitution, article 1, that we can directly, you know. So Ruto alikuja akatuita anarchists, akasema we are criminals. He said we are prisoners na tunataka kupindua serikali. Let's talk in a way, in a language that can be understood, because some of us, sisi tuko kwa ground, tunaelewa hizi vitu venye ziko. What does that mean when he said that? And immediately after that, he released the KDF, wakakuja kwa ground. What was it supposed to mean? It was a justification of mnaweza pigwa risasi because nyinyi mnataka kupindua serikali. A day or two ago, they have said the same thing. That, ile 25th of June, it was orchestrated, which I don't agree, by Gachagua and his, accomplices or whoever. So, mi nasemaje, Ruto is out here to kill us. He's justifying the fact that tukitokea tu hivi kwa ground to protest, he has a right to kill us. Why? Because sisi ni wapinduzi wa serikali. And that's not who we are. We're simply mandated by the Constitution to do what is right, to get the government accountable. And what sickens me more, wakati tumesema tuende maandamano, we have planned for maandamano za 11-11. And then the people wenye tunafika hapo, we are like just around 40 or 50 people. Mnatupiwa tear gas canister moja peke yake, nyote mmekuwa scattered. And then we come to the spaces and say, maandamano ilifail. So, what is going on? How is it possible that, is it possible, for example, to bring everyone on board? And me, I'm against those people who are just, pro, revolting. I know right now, hakuna mtu anatumia Safaricom. If you are here and you're using Safaricom, you are against the movement. If you are here and you're not promoting things like Airtel, tutawapatia marketing, free marketing. Let's say we go for Airtel money, we go for Airtel to tumie Airtel, because Safaricom has been used against the law. Privacy and data protection, they have already breached that as a policy. There's no how, unless uniambie kama gava wanatumia sniffer dogs, wananusa tu watu, where you get this person and where you get them from. It cannot be that convenient and that coincident. It cannot be. It has to be mtu anakutrack down, and that information is being given out by Safaricom. So if you're using Safaricom here, you are actually against this movement. If you are pro-Airtel, that is one way of revolting as we prepare for 11-11. So until now, mi sijajua Thomas Gombe ako wapi. Mi nimejaribu, the last time nimejaribu, it was this around 3 hours ago. Nikaambiwa, actually I was given a number of the police officers wenye walichukua obi yake, wakasema alichukuliwa ati alikuwa anauza madawa. And this guy is a chemist, he's a pharmacist. So whenever mtu akisema tu alishikwa juu alikuwa anatumia madawa ama alikuwa anauza madawa, we go to the cocaines and that kind of stuff. But this, if it has happened to him, the next time it will happen, it's me or you. So it's about time, guys, we wake up. Let's wake up. Tuende kwa ground huko, tuambie watu vitu zinafanyika hapa nje. That's it.
Riljo, are you with us?
Jeff, you done, eh? Okay. So I'm seeing John. Are you ready? Ama nipatie Kiama the mic. Kiama is in the speakers panel.
Yeah. Perhaps maybe let me implore Jeffy I'm trying to go through your profile. Ndio nione vile we can amplify that free tomboya thing. Perhaps everyone can visit your profile if you haven't shared it, and even if you have, you can retweet it again. Just to the people in this space, please do that. It doesn't cost you anything. Asante. Kiama, kindly go ahead.
Thank you so much. I'm really proud to be in this forum this day. My name naitwa Kiama. I'm a Stanwa Kabros. I'm from Nakuru and Nyandarua. I'm a businessman, I'm a contractor, and I can say I'm the youngest contractor we have maybe in Kenya. Kitu ya kwanza, let me say congratulations because watu wanaendelea kuerevuka, watu wanaendelea kusoma. Na hii mambo inaendelea, haifinyi Mkalenjin, haifinyi Mjaluo, haifinyi Mkikuyu peke yake. Everyone is feeling the pinch. Na sisi wote tunasikia the pinch juu hatuna pesa kwa mfuko. Mtu akona estates zake kadhaa, mtu anaingiza 600 kwa mwezi. Huyo huwezi sikia akicomplain, huyo huwezi ona akifungua forum kama hii aongee. Lakini we are feeling the pinch juu hii kitu inatufinya sisi directly. Ukiangalia watu wenye hawana kazi ni vijana. Ukiangalia watu wenye wanapata taxes, hata zile kidogo ni watu wa bodaboda ama hawa mama mboga. You see the harassment with kanjos, you have to pay whatever. So I have been moving and leading a movement in Root Kenya Unity because I'm a Kikuyu and I'm from Rima. And whatever that is going on, I really don't support it. And my apologies for my views. If naweza labda kuna mtu atagwaro kidogo ama nitakwaruza kidogo. The moment kuna hiyo large number and mtu ameweza kuinconvince, hiyo number inafanyaga kukuwe na bad leadership because of the numbers. If you convince a large crowd na uongo, they play a big role kufuata nyuma like we did kupea Ruto kura watu wa mlima. But now people are going on being lightened. Wanaona mwenye walikuwa wamechagua si mwenye yako. So comrade na all the people in this forum, I call salute you. Na acha nirudishie Mike the host. Niendelee kufuata whatever is being planned. Tuone ni aje. Lakini I'm really behind you and we need a revolution. Allow me to take 1 minute or just 1 minute. Saa hii walikuwa nasema Kenya ama Gen Z, the time walikuwa wametokea kwa ground, nchi ilikuwa mbaya. But reality is watu wa biashara hakuna time wameface mbaya kama during this era. Watu wameteseka, watu hawana pesa hii time. If hakuna leadership inaweza fanywa ama kuwezi Ruto ama hawezi toka, then we can go with the army. Nairobi imeongozwa na jeshi time ya Uhuru. And it was all okay. We need a total revolution in this state. Thank you so much.
Asante sana.
Thank you, Kiama.
Real,
John, you want to come in?
Let me just mention, I've shared it hapo kwa Jumbo Trade by Dr. Onyango. He's saying that the Gombe is being held at Langata police station. It was an arrest, although it seems like squeezy, there is no difference between abduction and arrest. But they were able to see him together with Wakili Joe. And you can follow after that tweet to get more information and even DM Daktari Nani Jeffy. You can reach out to him as well. Should I make my submission? Are we closing the space, Joe?
Yeah, go ahead and make your submission, then we look at how we close the space.
Yeah, all right. So I want to take us a bit back towards how we began the thought in this space. Remember, first of all, tulisema kwamba the past few days we've been talking about the differences, why Europe and America is different from how things happened over here. Over here, you can be abducted by police who don't identify themselves, who don't come to you with a warrant of arrest from a judge. They just show up with guns, and you know they take you to an unknown place and torture you, and even if they produce you in court, nothing. There are no consequences for them, and you yourself sometimes you end up paying bail. So, like the system itself, it's not working. And that is essentially, I think, was it yesterday or ama juzi tulikuwa nasema Kenya can't even put a banana into space, because if our very systems of law are not working, how can we organize ourselves as a country into a space program and have it successful, you know? So essentially, the way we began the space was, the law is not working. You can go to court about something, but you won't find jurisprudence, you will find jurispesa. Justice is for those with deep pockets. And unfortunately, because that is the case, we have to discover Article 1. And we kind of stumbled into it during the period of June, late May, and throughout June. We stumbled into that, not knowing that that is actually what we were doing, but we ended up doing it. And for right now, we need to take in those lessons and learn so that we can we can do it properly, let me say. I think for the most part, the way we Kenyans, the way tumekuwa tukiishi for a long time, tukisema tu ukweli, yeah, we haven't been bothered to care about this country. Maybe it's the culture in which we have grown up. We like, for example, tumezoea tu vitu zingine, yeah? Umezoea tu like hongo, or maybe the cop stops you for an non-existent traffic infringement, and anataka chai, and you don't want to go through the hassle of you know, going to court and all these things. So it's more convenient for you compare 300 or something, so that you can just go on your way. This is how we've been living for a long time. But I think the more we hold these spaces, and let no one tell you that these spaces are for nothing or we are just talking or anything. I think Wallace was quite clear as well, saying, hold your horses. You see, there's something that has to happen. There has to be a change, first of all, in how we think, so that we can properly act proper. And part of it has to do with changing our mindset, understanding that if the Constitution says certain things are rights, and remember, you get your rights not from government, but from God. These are things you have because you're a human being. And if one of those rights is quality healthcare, access to quality healthcare, as it is noted down in the Constitution. The Constitution does not give rights, it merely notes down what is self-evident. So you have a God-given right to quality healthcare. If you're paying taxes, if you have allegiance to a polity, if you're a citizen, this is what you are entitled to, simply by virtue of being a citizen. And when government does not give you that, and when you go to court and they side with the whichever branch is denying you those rights, then they have ceased to have a reason for their existence. Now, this sounds a bit radical, but it's the language of the Declaration of Independence of the US, that any government that violates rights, because government is there, the sole reason for government is to secure our rights. That's all. That's all. Hizi vitu zingine parastato wanatengeneza nini? The whole point is to help them to secure our rights. And if they fail in that procedure, they have how can I say, they have signed their own death warrant. And it is the right of the people to discover Article 1. How can we come together as the people and get things done? The best option, of course, that should be first pursued is a peaceable manner. But I think you guys know the quote, the statement, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make a violent one inevitable. Now, I think as I learned, let me just say that having all this understanding from today, I'd like to drop off, but having all this understanding from today, how does it color the kind of understanding and purpose with which we are going to be working? How does it inform how you will go out to open up eyes, to open up minds to these particular realities? Because we can, in order for us to go out and get things done, get things changed, we first of all have to go out and change the minds of people. And as many, and I think the challenge by the National Anthem Challenge is a good idea. If you can come up with another one, please share it, come and share it with us. There are various groups doing various things. People are coming up with websites to inform people about corruption and going around in their local place in terms of projects. I think Wallace is also involved with Mkura as well. Like there are many things happening, but I think once we are building up that momentum, as we did in June, tutajipata tu pale. It's a thing of nature. Because right now, enda ongelesha mse wa Kibandaski and umuulize about details about, like, what do you understand about Adani? What do you understand about Chief? For the most part, people don't know or people don't care. It's unfortunate. So the task remains with us. It is for us, and there's nothing treasonous about this. This is simply informing people of what is going on. So I'd like to land there and just remind people that Gombe is in Langata Police Station, and we can still keep the hashtag alive until he's released, without any charges or without any issues. Nashukuru guys. Let me drop.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you. A lot of things you've said that make sense there, and the best revolution starts in the mindset. By the way, shaping up the opinions of the general public. That is the best revolution. It starts in the mindset before any other place. So we will continue to shape up the mentality of the people. I hope from this space today, you leave understanding that we do not have justice as justice system right now. And therefore we need to look for an alternative justice system. I hope from this space you will leave understanding that the judiciary is no longer supporting the interest of the people. Therefore, we'll need to look for an alternative to the judiciary. I hope from this space you understand that we do not have to go to court to demand for better education in our country. It is our right as per Article 43. We do not have to go to court to demand for better, let me use the terms of the Constitution, high standards of healthcare. We do not have to go to courts to seek that. It is given to us and it is enshrined in the Constitution. And when leadership, however good processes, however good laws we will have at any given point in time, there's someone will always take advantage and try to turn it into tyranny. Someone will always do that. And it is the responsibilities of the citizen. Don't think that the legislature will check the excesses of the executive. No, it is the citizens who will check the excesses of the executive. It is the citizens who will check the excesses of the legislature. And it is the citizens who will check the excesses in the judiciary only through civil disobedience. I want to encourage all of you to boycott Safaricom, as we have been saying from the onset. Let's boycott they are using Safaricom to abduct and arrest Kenyans. Police are not dreaming those locations of Kenyans. Safaricom is giving out the locations, and it is doing that continuously. Let's boycott it. I want to give the speakers who are here on the panel right now, each of them time to give their final submissions as we look at closing this space. This space is hosted by Wakenya Wazalendo and always comes to you at 8 a.m. in the morning, and will be coming to you every day from 8 a.m. in the morning. You can join. If you miss the morning space from 8 a.m. to 12, we always end at 12 p.m. If you miss the morning space in the morning, you'll catch up with us again in the evening space from 6 p.m. if I'm not wrong, Wakenya. You'll enlighten me on that. But I want to give the speakers who are in the panel. I'm seeing a request from one speaker here. I'll give you the mic here. I'm seeing James. James, I'm gonna give you the mic. I was wondering why you had not requested yet, but I'm gonna give you the mic. Yes. So as I do that, as I give James the mic, let me bring in Malia. Malia, how are you? Give us your final submissions and what you think about the topic of today. Malia? Malia, you can unmute and speak.
Thank you. Yeah, so unfortunately, my fellow Kenyans, now Kindiki is your deputy president. You know, even I was looking at that thing and I was like, this guy, there's nothing. And then he even has a nerve to say the person who has helped him in the world of politics there's nobody else whom he has seen who is so good in the area of politics, who has taught him the most in the last 15 years. Kenyans, we are in shit. That's all what I'm going to tell you. But God is there to endelea kuomba, and we need to start mobilizing and coming up with strategies. Because the only thing we have on our side, we have God on our side, and we have numbers. That is what we have. And I think the only way forward for us as Kenyans is civil disobedience. Let people sit down, look at what strategies we can use. Because now we no longer have our elected members at our disposal. We no longer have the judiciary. It's compromised. We no longer have anybody, you know. All we have now is ourselves and our God. So we have to sit down. We have to go and study other countries where there's been civil disobedience, and we see which methods we can use, which will suffer the least amount of casualties, but which will have impact. And from the time when this finance bill came up, and sadly we lost our people, many of them, some morgues, I understand there's up to 600 bodies unidentified. You know, all over the country, there was a lot of carnage. We now want to take it a step further. After the finance bill was shut down, and Kenyans even went to the houses of their MPs, and they even engaged lawyers to start the processes of recalling the MPs who voted yes. Now, I think now where things have gotten, we need to start now going to that direction. As much as right now there's no IBC which has been constituted, that is one way we need to start. If you see, because there's no point of you electing somebody, then when they go there, they're at the disposal of one person. No. So if we sent you there, you are now no longer representing us. Basi, give us back our seat, and then you go with the money which Ruto gave you, and you do your other business. I think recalling should become the order of the day in Kenya now. Because we cannot have a situation whereby, why do we go to vote? If at all when we send you there, you are not going to stand for us. But the other thing is that we need to sit down and really be strategic, because this guy is strategic. This guy has the monopoly of violence. This guy has now all the organs of government in his pocket. So we need to sit down. Let's study what other people across the world have done. Let's come up with even specific strategies, like what I remember there was a time back when we were saying resist. So like boycotting some products and all that. As you can see now, since we began the boycott Safaricom has now come out clearly and are even willing to, so they know they're about to lose a lot of customers and a lot of money. So they are beginning now to realize that we are the ones who are keeping them in business, and they are beginning to now keep on giving press releases because they are scared of what is coming. That is not the way. We are going to sit down. We are going to look at other countries, other revolutions. We go and sit down and see modern ways of civil disobedience in which we can be able to get what we want. Because now what we have as a bargaining chip. Before, we thought we had the judiciary on our side as bargaining power, or our elected officials. We don't have that now anymore. We thought we had the church. We don't have that. We thought we had the various. We thought we had recourse. We had some bargaining power as citizens of this country. Now that those ones have been, we have now to come up with others, which will be able, because you see, from the time when people started going to the homes of the elected officials who voted yes to the finance bill, and they started booing them in meetings, not allowing them to speak in meetings, and they got scared. They were not sleeping in their homes, and their numbers were being put on the online, and they were being salimiwad, and their private, because if they are, for example, I understand some of these people, they're even gay. So if you're going to get that information, you hack their phones and get that information and use it to threaten them or expose them. You say now we are no longer dealing with this. You cannot bring a stick to a gunfight. This is now a gunfight. The stick we've been using of just mandamano, of just retweeting and hashtags, hiyo haifanyi sasa. Ingekuwa inafanya, we are at 1 billion impressions for Okoa angekuwa amereleasiwa. We now have to regroup, re-strategize, come up with very candid ways and we can hit them where it matters. And if you want to know that civil disobedience and mass, and those kinds of things work, right now, come to Nairobi. Tell me if you are hearing. Before, you would hear sirens for these people to these officials to pass on the road. We excuse them, they pass on the road. Nowadays, it's only ambulances. Since that July 25th, I've not seen a motorcade of one of these people the way they used to do. So wameacha hiyo. They don't even, then being known had become a liability, because if you are known, people may turn against you. So now they're in silence. They're moving in silence. They don't want to be recognized. So those are the kind of things that we are going to now start doing. Let's sit down. Let's think. How can we hit them where it hurts? Because that's when we'll get our bargaining power back. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Malia. Thank you very much, Malia. Let me bring in some of the new speakers we had. James, how are you? Can anyone hear me? Okay, James, I gave you the mic.
I'll say good morning. And as a neighbor in Uganda, I'll just tell you one thing, that the changes that are in Kenya right now, as a result of your rising up, you can't deny that fact. And you might not see it because it is painful change, but it is going to take you again to stand up. Just like the last speaker, when you said you have God and people on your side. You have tested everything to the latter, and you have seen for yourself that you are standing out alone. You're on your own. And we from Uganda, I think, have gone through that long time ago. You provoked the United States, you provoked Uganda, and of course, your country is now an ally of the United States. So you have Museveni, Ruto, and America against you. But you have numbers. You have numbers. Like you have said, you have numbers. How do you get off the plateau? And you'll come out better. Just appreciate that the change you are seeing in Kenya is because you have done what you did. Of course, it's costly, it's expensive, lives are lost. How many are you ready to sacrifice more? I think yes. If you seem to be ready more than us in Uganda. Those abductions, I think, are to wear you down. But the question you should ask, who next? And if all of you can say nobody should be abducted again, for us, we kind of see people stronger than us in Uganda. For us, we've had that for 40 years. I don't know how long we'll have it. We've had it for 40 years, and there's too much apathy at home. But I like your resilience. At least you still have numbers when it comes to spaces. For mobilization, in Uganda, you can hardly get a space of 30 or 20 people. For you can have spaces every day, the whole night. Your spaces run. For us, we're in packets. But just appreciate yourselves. The change in Kenya is what you have done. Maybe I can stop there for now since I joined late, but at least I appreciate what you have done so far. So far, so good. Some of us who see change, some of us who feel you appreciate what you have done. You remain an example in East Africa, but I think just complete the revolution. If you leave it hanging where it is, you'll pay more cost than like we're paying in Uganda. Thank you.
Thank you. That is James. Is a speaker in our spaces, and is from Uganda. And you've heard what he said. We have numbers, we have unity, and they like, and we inspire a lot of African countries, including Uganda. You've heard from James. So we need to find a way of ensuring this unity sticks, this unity grows, and this unity drives the agenda that we have of bringing change to our country and kicking out this tyrant regime.
Guys.
I have seen a post that, and we have pinned it on the Jumbo Trail. I think it was a post from Brenda. Yeah, Brenda _Ogo. And the post was just about Finance Bill 2024. And actually, that's a good